Welcome to the Sky Commander Flight Brief. It's your mission-ready podcast for drone pilot training and aerial insights across Canada.
From Transport Canada rules to real-world drone ops, we break it down, take you higher, and help you earn your wings. Because here at skycommander.ca, we don't just fly.
It hints there's more to it. It's a masterclass, a deeper level, maybe a philosophy or a community focus, perhaps.
It's definitely intriguing, sets them apart from just, a basic tips show. Skycommander.ca is the obvious next step. Precisely. If you're thinking about flying a drone in Canada, boom, this content is aimed right at you.
Powered by skycommander.ca.
The elite podcast for Canada's drone pilot. Okay, let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're not just dipping our toes in, we're taking a full plunge into the critical world of Canadian drone operations.
That's right.
Specifically focusing on emergency planning for remotely piloted aircraft systems, or RPAS.
A really key topic right now.
Our mission for you, our listener, is crystal clear. We're going to unpack the latest 2025 reforms, dig into specific emergency procedures like, lost links and flyaways.
Yeah, the big ones.
And arm you with the mental map you need to navigate this rapidly evolving landscape. Think of it as your shortcut to understanding not just what the rules are.
But the why.
Exactly, why they matter so profoundly for safe and compliant flights.
Precisely. And the sources we're drawing from today, you've got Transport Canada regulations, official guides like TP 15530, Standard 921.
The official stuff.
Right, plus practical insights from industry folks. They really show a clear, purposeful evolution. We're seeing much more sophisticated, detailed emergency preparedness.
So we're connecting the dots for you.
We are, helping you see the broader implications for every pilot, whether you're flying for fun or, commercially. The real insight is how deeply Canada's investing in proactive safety.
That historical context is crucial, I think, because to really appreciate where we are now, we have to understand how we got here.
Absolutely.
So let's rewind a bit. When did this laser focus on comprehensive emergency planning really start taking hold in Canada's drone world? Because it hasn't always been this detailed, has it?
No, you're absolutely right. It's been a fascinating phased evolution. The real baseline, I'd say, arrived in 2019.
Okay, 2019.
Yeah, with Transport Canada's comprehensive RPAS rules, Part 9X they call it. That was sort of the big bang.
Right.
It introduced mandatory emergency procedures, required written protocols for things like lost links, occurrence reporting. It was the seed, really, establishing that fundamental expectation. You must have a plan.
Just having a plan was the first step.
Exactly. Then fast forward to 2023, and we saw a pretty significant leap. They pre-announced the Level 1 complex stream.
Yes, the Level 1 complex.
This new category, it's designed for lower risk, beyond visual line of sight, BVLOS, and other expanded operations. But it tied these new privileges directly to new, quite demanding knowledge requirements.
Which is where TP 15530 comes in.
That's the one, along with a strong emphasis on formal training. This is where the idea of documented, detailed emergency planning really solidified. It moved beyond just having a plan to having a rigorous, tested plan. Much more involved.
Okay, so more rigor.
And that brings us pretty much up to date to 2025, where the big reform fully lands with SOR 2025-70.
The latest piece.
Right. Part 9X gets updated again. It formally introduces that Level 1 complex certificate, defines a whole new lexicon of safety terms, which we should definitely get into.
We will.
And it establishes new admin duties after an incident, like mandatory registration updates if a drone goes missing.
That phased rollout of dates is really key, though. For a pilot on the ground, does that create any confusion? I mean, how do they make sure their planning lines up perfectly with what's actually in force?
That's a fantastic question. And yes, it absolutely can be a trap. It's critical for operators to remember the timing.
So what are the dates again?
Okay, the framework and knowledge pieces like the exams, the RPAS Operator Certificate Portal, the RPOC Portal, that stuff goes live on April 1st, 2025.
April 1st, got it.
But here's the kicker. The operational privileges themselves, actually being allowed to fly BVLS or EVLS or sheltered ops under these new rules.
The actual flying part.
Yeah, that doesn't expand until November 4th, 2025.
Okay, big gap there. April, then November.
Exactly. So the core insight here, what you really need to remember, is you have to match your emergency planning to the privileges that are actually in force on the day you fly.
Not what's coming down the pipe.
Correct. Your study materials, TP 1553, the refreshed Standard 921, they'll explicitly test your ability to describe these procedures, who to call, when. Navi Canada has updated its public flyaway contacts too.
And the DS.
The Designated Airspace Handbook, yes. That remains the absolute authority for special use airspace. It's all about being explicit, precise, and ready for the conditions of your flight date. No cutting corners.
It sounds like this evolving landscape demands not just new procedures, but like a whole new way of thinking.
It really does.
And that often starts with language, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what are the absolutely critical terms, vocabulary, that every drone operator needs to be fluent in now under these 2025 reforms? What's this new lexicon of safety?
Great question. Because these aren't just new words, they're tools. Tools for pilots to pre-visualize failure and build safety buffers before the drone even leaves the ground.
Okay, give us the rundown.
All right, first, operational volume. Simple enough, it's just the 3D space of your planned flight.
The box you plan to fly in.
Basically, yes. But then there's the contingency volume. Now, think of this not just as a bubble, but as your drone's personal safety net. It's the entire potential flight path and landing zone it might need if things go sideways, whether it's spiraling down or just drifting with the wind. You plan for this entire footprint.
Not just the intended path.
Not just the path. And you design it before launch during your operational risk assessment, your ORA. That's key.
Gotcha. Pre-launch planning. What else?
Closely related is the ground risk buffer. This is the specific area on the ground where people or vehicles absolutely need to be cleared out during an emergency descent or landing. You define this buffer zone.
Okay, clear the ground. Makes sense. And for specific incidents.
Right. A lost link. Or C2, failure C2 for command and control means your aircraft stops receiving commands or telemetry from your ground station.
You can't steer it.
Exactly. You can't steer it. And it might not hear any fail-safe updates you try to send. It's essentially dawn deaf.
Okay, lost link. Then there's flyaway.
Flyaway. And this isn't just your drone going slightly off course. Under the CARs, the Canadian Aviation Regulations, it's a specific definition. A runaway aircraft. Yeah, completely unresponsive, maybe drifting uncontrollably towards restricted airspace or over people. It's the drone equivalent of like a driverless car gone rogue. Immediate, serious concern.
Right, that sounds critical. And GNSS.
GNSS failure. Global navigation satellite system failure. Your drone loses reliable satellite position.
So no GPS, basically.
Or maybe intermittent GPS, Galileo, etc. The big impact is your return to home. Your RTH might be compromised. Navigation could degrade to just inertial dead reckoning, or it might just hold position.
Okay, so RTH might not work.
Precisely. And there are acronyms too, of course. FIR for Flight Information Region.
FIR.
A little memory hook I use is find it. Ring the FIR if you have an incident. Helps remember who to call.
Ah, I like that.
Then DAH for Designated Airspace Handbook and TSB for the Transportation Safety Board.
TSB, right.
The real insight from this new language is that it forces a mental shift. These terms aren't just academic, they're your framework for proactive prevention, not just reacting after something goes wrong.
Proactive prevention. Okay, with that essential vocabulary in our toolkit, let's get to the heart of it. What do you actually do when one of these worst-case scenarios starts happening?
Right, the procedures.
What's the core philosophy, and then how do we tackle the big three? Lost link, flyaways, and GNSS failure.
The core philosophy is, honestly, incredibly straightforward, but sometimes underestimated. You must pre-plan written emergency procedures.
Written down.
Written down, yes, and then actually fly them if they get triggered. We kind of boil it down to write it, brief it, carry it, use it.
Write it, brief it, carry it, use it. Catchy.
It helps. This isn't optional for level 1 complex ops.
Yeah.
It's fundamental. It's about building that muscle memory before the adrenaline kicks in.
So, muscle memory. Let's start with lost link, C2 failure. What are the steps?
Okay, for a lost link, your immediate actions are the basics. Check antennas, check power, try any secondary links if you have them. Standard troubleshooting. Right. If the link is truly unrecoverable, the aircraft executes its pre-configured fail-safe procedure. That could be hover, land immediately, or return to home, RTH.
Okay, fail-safe kicks in.
But here's a crucial detail, and honestly a common trap I see. Your RTH altitude must clear the tallest obstacle in your entire contingency area.
Not just along the planned flight path.
Exactly. Not just your mission path. I've seen pilots almost get caught out. They think my RTH is 200 feet, I'm flying at 150, I'm fine. But they forgot about that 210-foot cell tower a kilometer off to the side, well within their contingency bubble.
Wow, yeah, that could be bad.
Very bad. That's why you must document this RTH profile in your standard operating procedures, your SOPs, and brief it every single time.
Such an important distinction, clearing the entire contingency area. It really hammers home that proactive mindset.
Okay, now what about the dreaded flyaway? That sounds like maybe the most immediately dangerous one.
It absolutely is, potentially, because a flyaway means you have essentially a runaway aircraft, uncontrolled.
What's the first call? If that aircraft is unresponsive, and there's any risk it could intrude into controlled or restricted airspace, you call the FIR, the Flight Information Region, right away.
Immediately.
Immediately. You use Navi Canada's Flyaway page. They list the numbers by FIR. Have your last known position, altitude, course, and what its intended failsafe should have been ready to go. Speed is critical here.
You're trying to prevent a conflict.
You are. Preventing a mid-air or an incursion into airspace where it shouldn't be. Beyond that initial call, if specific thresholds are met like injury or significant damage, you must report the occurrence ASAP by the quickest means to the TSB.
The Transportation Safety Board.
Right, using their 247 line. And it's crucial to understand, TSB thresholds aren't just for, big crashes. Even minor injuries involving contact with a small RPAS, say 250 grams or more, can trigger reporting.
Okay, good to know. So, order of calls matters.
Massively. If there's a flyaway risk into controlled or restricted airspace, number 1, FIR first, alert air traffic control. Number 2, manage ground risk from where you are. Number 3, TSB if it's reportable.
FIR first.
Got it. Missing that first FIR call can have serious consequences. Safety first.
Okay. FIR first for airspace risk. Makes sense. And for a GNSS failure, where your drone basically loses its sense of direction, what's the playbook? That sounds like where the contingency volume really comes into play.
It's precisely where that contingency volume shines, yes. For a GNSS failure, your planning must assume RTH might be compromised or completely unavailable.
Assume the worst.
Right. Your operational risk assessment, your ORA, should pre-compute a conservative drift bubble. You factor in things like crosswind speed, how much your inertial measurement unit, the IMU, might drift over time, and how long it takes to descend.
So you calculate a potential wandering area.
You got it. And based on that, you designate a low-risk landing area before you even launch. You brief your visual observer, your crew. If GNSS goes bad, we need this area clear.
And the action's in the moment.
Switch immediately to attitude or visual control, flying by sight or instruments, not relying on GPS. Maintain orientation as best you can and command a slow, controlled descent into that pre-briefed, low-risk landing area. It's a mental and practical exercise in pre-visualization and crew coordination.
It really is all about that foresight, isn't it? Thinking through the what-ifs beforehand.
That's the core of it.
So, okay, you've handled the immediate emergency, you've landed safely, or maybe not so safely. What happens next? What administrative steps are new or particularly crucial under the 2025 reforms? Because it's not over when the drone touches down.
You're hitting on a critical point. The admin duties are just as vital as the in-flight actions, and yeah, some are brand new with the 2025 amendments.
Like what?
For instance, if a drone goes missing. If it's gone for 60 days or if you officially terminate the search earlier,
Okay.
you must notify the Minister of Transport within 7 days to cancel its registration.
7 days. That's specific.
Very specific. It's a direct amendment from SOR 2025-70. It's a detail examiners I guarantee will love to test on, and it's a new responsibility pilots cannot afford to miss. Mark that one down.
Duly noted. What else on the admin side?
Record keeping. This is huge. You need meticulous occurrence logs, detailed maintenance checks, and evidence of all communications calls to the FIR, TSB, any emails with Transport Canada.
Keep the receipts.
Basically, yeah. Standard 921 also specifies pilot records must be kept for 24 months. These records aren't just about ticking boxes for compliance. They show you run a professional, disciplined operation, and they're invaluable for learning, for continuous safety improvements.
Right. Learning from incidents. It's all about being meticulous, dotting every I, crossing every T, even after the stress is over.
Exactly right.
To really bring this home, let's walk through a few scenarios. How would a pilot apply these rules, this new language, in a high-pressure situation? Because theory is one thing.
But practice under pressure is everything.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, scenario 1. A suburban roof survey, you get a lost link at 250 feet AGL. Okay, let's say it's an EVLUS training flight. You're in controlled airspace, there's a 15-knot crosswind blowing, and your RTH is set correctly at 300 feet AGL.
And the trigger.
Telemetry freezes on your screen, your RC controller is totally unresponsive. full command and control failure.
Okay, what do you do?
Actions. First, quick antenna power checks. Try any secondary link. Nothing. Okay, let failsafe engage. Immediately, you or your crew confirms the RTH altitude clears that, say, 240-foot cell tower nearby that you identified in the ORA.
Check the obstacle clearance.
Right. Your visual observer scans the contingency corridor, the path the drone might take. You make sure the ground whisk buffer, that pre-briefed area underneath, is clear.
Ground clear.
If you suspect it's drifting or actually flying away towards controlled or restricted airspace, call the FIR. Immediately. Give them last known position, altitude, course, failsafe profile.
Then TSB.
Then recover, if possible, log the occurrence meticulously, and yes, if it meets the TSB reporting threshold, contact them as soon as possible by the quickest means.
And the key takeaway for an exam?
The exam answers something like, operate in accordance with written loss link SOP. RTH altitude must be greater than or equal to the tallest obstacle plus margin. Notify FIR if flyaway risk into controlled restricted airspace. Report to TSB by quickest means if threshold met. Nail those points.
That's a perfect sequence. Okay, what about GPS going sideways? Scenario 2, rural mapping, GNSS degrades mid-run.
Okay, you're out in the countryside, Class G airspace, farms, fields. Crucially, your ORA included pre-sizing a GNSS out contingency volume. Let's say for a 25-knot crosswind, known IMU drift of 2 nautical miles per hour, and a descent rate of 500 feet per minute. You get the math beforehand.
Plan for it. Trigger.
GNSS warning flashes on the controller. The RTH icon goes gray or looks unreliable.
Actions.
Switch immediately to attitude or visual mode.
Yeah.
Do not trust RTH. Command a slow, controlled descent into that pre-briefed low-risk landing area, maybe an empty part of a field. Your visual observer confirms the ground track is clear.
Talk me through the bubble size comment.
Right. On the crew intercom, you might announce the parameters used for the bubble. Okay, team. GNSS unstable, descending visually, contingency volume based on 25 knots crosswind, 2 mile per hour drift, 500 feet per minute descent. Keeps everyone situationally aware. Land, capture the logs, maybe update your ORA template with the real numbers later.
And the exam takeaway.
Design the bubble. Don't guess. Crosswind plus IMU drift plus descent time equals contingency volume. Have a land-in-place plan ready. It emphasizes the pre-calculation, one another. Scenario 3, downtown facade inspection, RTH set too low, human error this time.
Okay, complex environment.
Yep, urban canyons. Tallest nearby roof is 180 feet, but someone mistakenly set the RTH altitude to only 120 feet in the mission plan. Trigger, link drops, the drone obediently initiates RTH toward potential disaster.
Actions.
The second that link flickers back on, you slam the cancel RTH button, immediately climb well above that 180-foot roof plus a safe margin, then carefully reposition to land. Your ground crew should be actively managing pedestrian flow below.
And the lesson learned.
Post-flight fix. Standardize RTH for that site, maybe tallest obstacle, plus 60 to 100 feet margin. The exam point is, if conditions make the planned SOP unsafe, revise it before flight. We are required to operate in accordance with established safe procedures. You can't just follow an unsafe plan.
It's amazing how a tiny pre-flight check error can escalate so fast. Okay, one more. Scenario 4. Waterfront park event, potential flyaway toward active Class F restricted airspace.
High stakes. Public presence, sensitive airspace nearby.
Trigger.
Lost link combined with wind drift that's clearly pushing the drone towards that Class F boundary you identified in your DAH and NOTAM check.
Actions.
Notify the FIR immediately. Use their flyaway line. Give last known position, altitude, course, failsafe info. Simultaneously, clear the ground risk buffer, maybe using event staff if pre-briefed. If you recover it, great, complete the log. If it meets thresholds, TSB next. Crucially, document that you check the DAH and NOTAMs beforehand.
Exam takeaway.
DAH and NOTAMs are the authorities for airspace. Call the correct FIR fast if there's a risk of intrusion, then TSB if reportable. Prioritize the immediate airspace hazard.
Wow, those scenarios really drive home the practical application and, frankly, the urgency of getting these decisions right.
They really do.
What I'm hearing consistently is it's not enough to just know the rules on paper. You have to practice them until they're instinct.
That's exactly it.
So what does this all mean for someone maybe aiming for their level 1 complex certificate or even just wanting to seriously up their game on emergency readiness? What's the biggest hurdle in making that leap from knowing to, truly mastering these procedures?
The biggest challenge, I think, based on what I see, is bridging that gap. Going from theoretical knowledge, passing the exam, to real-world operational fluency, especially under pressure.
How do you bridge that gap?
Well, structured training is invaluable. Programs like, for instance, the ones Ultex Academy offers, give you a comprehensive path. They combine online ground school with specialized BVLOS simulation and then crucial in-person flight training.
That hands-on part seems key.
It really is, especially for moving from VLOS to BVLS. You benefit from experienced instructors who've seen the common mistakes, who can directly address that learning curve and show you how to apply the rules in messy, real-world situations.
Beyond formal courses.
Hands-on drills are absolutely essential. We strongly recommend chair flying the calls. Literally sit there and practice speaking the scripts for calling the FIR or TSB. Get comfortable with the words.
Vaulting it through.
Yes. And whiteboarding the bubble, actually calculate and draw your contingency volumes for different wind conditions. Role-play emergency comms with your team members. Practice being precise, concise, even when you imagine you're under pressure. Build that muscle memory.
Muscle memory again. What tools should people be using?
Definitely leverage the key tools. Navy drone is essential for permissions, airspace info, operation summaries, CFPS, the Collaborative Flight Planning System, for NOTAMs and weather, and the DAH, the Designated Airspace Handbook. That's the Bible for special use airspace.
Keep the numbers handy.
Absolutely. Keep local FIR and TSB numbers readily accessible. Maybe taped to your ground control station or programmed into a speed dial. Don't be fumbling for them in an emergency.
Good tip. Any common pitfalls to watch out for?
Oh, definitely. We talked about RTH too low. The fix is running an RTH ALT sanity check before every flight. Compare your setting to the tallest obstacles in the whole contingency area.
Sanity check.
Another is the geofence block, where the drone's built-in manufactured geofence conflicts with your actual authorized operational area. The fix is to align that OEM geofence to your authorization bubble before you take off. Check the settings.
Align the fences.
Right. And firmware mismatch, if you run a fleet. Different drones might have different fail-safe behaviors if the firmware isn't standardized.
Yeah.
So, standardize your fail-safe profiles across the fleet and brief them rigorously before each flight.
Consistency.
Consistency is key. And one last admin reminder, that new 7-day registration cancellation rule if a drone is missing for 60 days or the search ends. Easy to forget, but legally required now.
Expert. What I'm really taking away from all this detail is just how much more intentional, how much more proactive drone operations need to be under these reforms.
That's a perfect way to put it. Intentional.
It feels like a significant shift from maybe just following a basic checklist to truly internalizing a deep safety philosophy.
Indeed. The 2025 reforms really mark a significant step forward. It's about enhancing safety and professionalism across the board in RPAS operations. Understanding these nuances, from specific terms like contingency volumes to knowing the critical order of notifications, it's paramount for every single pilot.
Preparedness and precision.
Exactly. Preparedness, precision, and prioritizing safety at every single stage, not just thinking about it when an emergency is already happening.
Absolutely. And for you, our listener, we really hope this deep dive has given you not just a clearer picture of the regulations.
The what?
Right? The what, but also that confidence, that feeling that you can handle an unexpected situation if it comes your way because you have the tools, the knowledge, and the right mindset to respond effectively.
Hopefully so.
So, as drone technology keeps evolving, keeps integrating more and more into our airspace, here's a final provocative thought for you to ponder. How might these advantaged drone operations continue to reshape our understanding of shared airspace and emergency response?
Interesting question.
Could it encourage even greater innovation, maybe, in both the technology itself and in our human preparedness in the years to come? Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought. It's a journey that's really only just beginning.
It truly is. Until next time, fly safe, fly smart, and keep diving deep into knowledge. That's a wrap on today's mission, Commander. See above, go beyond, get ahead. For more training, tools, and intel, head to skycommander.ca. If you learned something new, share it, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star debrief.